The first time, my mother crossed me through a sewer system near Tijuana, Mexico, which is the border of California.
Yep.
Right? There was a small spot called San Isidro. She was trying to cross us through the border system. Through the border, through a sewer system, and we got caught, kicked out. Went back to my aunt's house in TJ, waited 48 hours, made another attempt. We got through, went to Escondido, California, in San Diego County, and we lasted third and fourth grade there. And it was like my mom was working the fields. That's how she got her paperwork through Amnesty, right?
Right.
So we only lasted 2 years. It was way too expensive. California was way too expensive for my mother, myself, my brother, and we went back to Mexico, right? And at this point,
Now, how old were you when you went back?
fifth grade, so about nine years old.
Okay.
Yep.
But so let's do this because I want to go through the first time you came through, and you explained a little bit of it right there. But the first time, the journey, you said your mother had left
for 2 years.
For 2 years, she came back to get you, and then you went back. Tell us about that journey. Were there coyotes that were helping you?
The first time, no. The first time, no. But the first time, my mother knew exactly what to do, like where to go and what to do, right?
Okay.
The second time, when I went to Phoenix, Arizona, because again, we failed financially in California, and we were completely depleted, like discouraged. Imagine, I sacrificed like 2 years of not being with my mom, right? And then, she sacrificed 2 years of not being with her children, and then she saves up enough money finally to like create a place for us, like an apartment. It was like a 1-bedroom apartment that she brought us to. And then we last like a year and a half, 2 years. So on the way back, right, we're like, we're pretty distraught. We're done. We're like all that sacrifice, and we're illegal. Like my brother and I, we're illegal at this point. So we're like, we're going back, and we're probably not coming back.
Right.
And now we know this other life. Now we know electricity and water and buildings and grass, right? Right? And free lunch at school, right? So I remember that. And we're going back, and as soon as we get to Mexico, I'm around 9 years old, and my mother is like, "Hey, this isn't the end of us." A lot of people ask me like, "Hey, man, how did you get to where you are today?" 27 companies, one of the in the single family residential space, one of the top leading, investors in the single SFR space. How did you get there? Right? You didn't have no programming. You didn't read no books, right? You didn't have a father. How did you get there? Well, I believe it was my mom's programming and my mom's demonstration of hustle. Visionary, made sacrifices, work ethic like crazy, never gave up. See, little did I know, I was getting all my programming from her.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So we go back, and my mother's like, "Hey, this isn't the end of us. This is what we're going to do." Now she's planning it out.
Right.
She's like, "I'm going to work at this resort cleaning hotel rooms, and then you're going to bag groceries. And then I'm going to use my money to survive, and we're going to use your money to save up so I can make another try to Phoenix," right? And about a year later, I'm bagging groceries. I'm about a year in. I'm 9 years old. I'm working at a retail company called La Ley, which is a huge, it's owned by Chinese people. It's like Walmart down there, right? And I'm just bagging groceries. I got my hat, my apron, my ID. I speak a little English now, so I'm getting better tips, right? Bag groceries, take them out to the car, ask for a tip. I'm actually making more money than my mom is. Wow. My mom was making, I would say, I think it was about $35 a week cleaning hotel rooms.
A week.
Wow.
And I was making about $15 to $20 a day. Like I was the breadwinner at this point at 10 years
At
old.
9 years old.
10 years old.
Oh, yeah. I was the
So
breadwinner.
where in Mexico? Did you stay in Tijuana? or-
Guaymas.
Okay.
Guaymas, Sonora, near San Carlos Bay.
Okay.
About an hour from there. San Carlos is like the really nice resort area, right? And then, man, it's funny. Anytime I go back, it's like a dream to me, right? Because I stay in San Carlos Bay, and I smoke like a Cuban cigar out there, and I'm just like, how my life has come full circle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
How did you get here?
Because I couldn't never afford to stay at a place like that, and now when I go back, that's where I stay, right? When I go visit family. So anyway, back to, I save up enough money. She comes to Phoenix. She's working out on the fields. It's 120 degrees out there, right? She's out there working the fields. What do you call those places where it's a lot of plants and trees?
Arbor
nursery.
Nursery.
Like a nursery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's working in a nursery, right? And she saves up enough cash, but this time she's like, I'm only going to bring one of you first because last time I brought both of you and we couldn't afford it. I don't want to make that same mistake, right? So she sends for her oldest, which is me, first, and then she pays a coyote this time $25 to jump me through the fence. So there's a hole in the fence in Nogales, Sonora. She pays him $25, and I'm about 10, 11 years old. I'm actually entering the 7th grade at this point, and she says, "Hey, Mijito," which is my son. You're going to listen to this man. He's going to take you to me on the other side. So she pays this dude, and she's like, if he tells you to run, you run, jump, whatever. He's going to take you over to me. And sure enough, this guy, I get under this guy's wing. He tells me to duck, run, jump. We go through the fence in Nogales. I meet my mom at McDonald's in Nogales, Arizona, right? The other side.
Right.
And then she kind of just contrabands me up in a shuttle. She contrabands me up in a shuttle. And this is another part of the story that I actually just found out through my mother, because I like to pick my mother's brain from all this, because I'm like, I need to know.
There's so much to unpack, by the way, on this whole story. But finish this thought.
Watch this. So now we're in a shuttle, right? And a shuttle is it's a van that takes legal residents, legal immigrants to Phoenix from Nogales. But then, she's like, hey, we're going to get stopped by an immigration officer. So who doesn't have papers? And my mom, man, you guys won't believe this. My mom's like, hey, my son doesn't have papers, but if you don't say anything, I'll give you $500. And she didn't have $500.
Right.
I'll give you $500. Just don't say anything. Take me to the house, and I'll give you $500. So the driver's like, okay, it's a big risk, but that's fine. Man, my mom, she's a hustler. I feel bad about this, but she has him take us to a whole different place where it wasn't her house.
Right.
And we just run.
You just took off.
We just took
off.
Yeah. She did not have $500.
That's right. Yeah.
This is the year is 1997.
Right.
She did not have $500 to give this man, so we just took off. And then my mom started my immigration paperwork process in 1997, and then I became first I got a work permit, and then a year later I got a resident card, and then 5 years later I became a citizen of this country.